Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Today we're going to look at factorization. Okay, so we're continuing with our paper, and this question is on factorization. So we have this train here, and then we're asked to factorize completely. I call it a train just because you have it's a train of terms. So you have 4 terms here. Okay, so normally when you have 4 terms, what it usually means is you're dealing with a situation where you have to match the brackets. So you have to match 2 brackets, and then you can factorize accordingly. Okay, so for example, this one and this one, they don't have anything in common really. So but then this one and this one, they actually do have something in common. So you can just quickly rearrange. Okay, so sometimes you have to rearrange depending on what you're given. Okay, so here I'm going to write this one first. Another thing to remember, although you probably know this, is a number owns the sign to its left. Okay, so when you shift AY here, it's actually negative AY. That's the whole term here. Okay, negative AY, it's a term of its own. And here we didn't have anything in common, so that's why we didn't factorize. We had to shift some stuff. Okay, but then essentially when you have 4 terms here, what you're dealing with is a case where you have to match the brackets. So here the common factorize, it's x. Okay, so x, and then you're left with, okay, it's actually 2x, in the sense that for 2 and 6 the common factor is 2. Okay, and then for the variables the common factor is x here. So 2x into 2ax, you get a here, then 2x into this one, you get 3b. Okay, so here we're supposed to match these brackets, so obviously we have to factor out the negative. Okay, so negative, and then obviously we have to factor out whatever is common on the numbers. Here on the numbers, the highest common factor, it's actually 1. On the variables we have y. Okay, so you'd be left with negative y into this, you get a, and then negative y into this, you get plus 3b. Okay, so notice that I have matched my brackets. So these are the brackets that I'm talking about. So this one and this one. This is very important. Okay, so we have matched the brackets, and once we have matched the brackets, you can actually factor out. So it's as if you're factoring out this bracket. So it'd be a plus 3b here, as if you're factoring out this one. So you get 2x, because it's a plus 3b into the whole thing. So obviously these ones they cancel, and then you're left with 2x, and then on this one you're left with negative y, like this. Okay, so you have factorized completely. So the one of the main points that you have to take away from here is that we're dealing with a case of 4 terms. So usually if we can't simplify them, usually it actually means that you have to use the method of matching the brackets. Okay, even sometimes when you can simplify them, sometimes it's also helpful to use the very same method. In this one we have to do more or less what we did previously. Okay, it lists the concepts. They're very similar. So here we have 27 and 3. That means that we have to factor out the highest common factor for the numbers. So the numbers, it'd be 3, and then for the variables, we don't have any common factor here. We actually have 3 into this, you have 9, and then 9x squared here, minus 3 into this, then you get 1, so you just get negative y squared here. What I want you to notice is that this is a difference of 2 squares. Okay, so this one, it's difference of 2 squares, in the sense that this one here, it's a square, and this one here, it's also a square, and then there's a negative sign here. Okay, so when you have that situation, always it's difference of 2 squares, so you're supposed to be able to identify it. One of the key components of this question was that we actually couldn't tell whether it was difference of 2 squares before factorizing. Okay, because 27 doesn't actually have a square root, which is perfect. Okay, so that's what we had to do first. So here you take the square root of 9x squared. It means the square root of 9, which is 3, and then of x squared, which is x. So all in all, it'd be 3x. Okay, so you put on one side. Then here the square root would be y, so you have to add, and then on the other part you have to subtract. Okay, so you actually get this whole thing here. So you have factorized completely. Let's see if we can get another question. Yeah, So this one, it's its own functions. Okay, f of x is equal to this. This is simply we can say it's an algorithm, or it's something that when you put something you get a certain result. Okay, so it's a function. It's a function. You have an input, then for that input you get a corresponding output. Okay, so for this one it's a linear equation, so you actually get only one input for one output, only one output for one input. Okay, so for this one it's a trinomial, so it's a function again. Just take it like that. It's a function again, and here it means that if we can put any x here, we actually get an output. So if we asked to find f of 5, so you have f of x equal to this. So f of 5, just notice that they have replaced on x, they have replaced 5. So you're supposed to do the same here. On x you're going to replace with 5. Okay, so you actually get 3 minus, then this 2 times 5, you get 10. Okay, so 3 minus 10, you simply get -7 here. So this one is what you'd get. And then for this one, you asked to find g of -2. Notice that where you have x, that's where they've put -2. That simply means put -2 on x. Okay, so when you're substituting, I advise you to use brackets always, all the time. This is important. Okay, even sometimes when it seems obvious, just put the brackets, because sometimes you tend to lose the signs there. They actually want to trick you. This is a -2, so when you say negative here, when you have negative here and you have an odd number power here, that means that the negative has to be preserved. Okay, so it means -2 times -2 times -2. So negative and negative, you get positive, but then you still have this negative here, so you actually get -8. Okay, so that's the importance of just substituting. So another way to go about it is to think, I have a negative inside the brackets, which is cool, and then I have an odd number power here. So if it's an odd number, it means that the negative survives, so it becomes negative, and then you have 4 here, and then obviously here you have 8. Okay, 8 for the 2. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is if you have -a, for example, to the power 100, this negative disappears, so you just get 8 to the power 100. Why? Because this is an even power. If you have -a to the power, let's say 1001, this negative has to come back. Why? It survives because this one is an odd number. Okay, so this is one way to think of it. So in this case, we simplified for the negative, and then we are left with negative here, and then we simplified for this, and then we left with 8 here, and then obviously -1. So here it would be -30, 32 minus 1, which would be equal to -33. Okay, so if you're not good at direct numbers, we use the same signs rule. Same signs rule says take the repeating sign, then you simply add. Okay, so you take negative here, which is the repeating sign, then you say 32 plus 1, then you get 33. Then that's it. Okay, so let's see if we can do this one. This one says find and simplify function of this. Okay, so what it simply means is now on where we had x, we're supposed to put this one. So we have f of 4x cubed minus 1 equal to, and then 3 minus, where you had x, we're supposed to put this number here. So 3 minus 2, then we have to put x. Our x is what? It's 4x cubed minus 1. Okay, so what it simply means is here we had f of whatever you put here, put here. That's what it simply means. So here you're going to put this whole train here. So if you put this whole train here, you're supposed to put it here as well. That's why I put it there. Okay, so here you get 3, then here you're just supposed to simplify inwards. So -2 times 8, then you get -8 x cubed here, then negative and negative, then you get positive. Okay, this is important. Be careful with the signs, because here is negative, there is negative also. That's why I was telling you and emphasizing that you should always use brackets. Okay, brackets clarify, they make clear the signs that you're dealing with. So here 3 plus 2, then you simply get 5, then minus 8x to the power 3, like this. So you get 5 minus 8x to the power 3, and then you're done. you have simplified the whole thing and you cannot go any further. Okay, so this was quite interesting. I really like this one. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, obviously do subscribe. Like the video as well, because it helps other students discover us. Okay, you can recommend this to some of your friends as well. I would be grateful. Thanks so much for watching. Yibo out.